But in the Hispanic culture is you really have to put everybody in consideration, especially if they're elder, older than you. That's somebody that you have to respect, and you have to pretty much do what they tell you to do.
Right.
Because if not, then a lot of families disown you.
Right.
You didn't follow what we asked that you do, because that's going to protect you in life.
I think they do that in Filipino culture too.
Really?
But I don't care. I want to follow what I want to do.
Yeah.
So.
And it's funny because they'll hate, and then eventually they're going to be like, "Oh wow, they're actually doing it." Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I always knew you could do it. Yeah, that's my daughter. Yeah, I knew she was going to be. And you're like,
yes.
The heck? Anyways, I got stories about that.
Yeah, I showed some of my photographs to my father or my mom, and they're like, "You took that?" I'm like, "Yes, mom, I took that."
Yeah.
Like, I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, "Oh, wow, that looks good," and because they wanted me to be in the medical field, and
we're Filipino.
I just
you need to be.
Yeah. Either post office or nurse, right?
I don't want to follow what doesn't feel good to me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn how to break away from that.
Yeah.
And like really follow my bliss.
Yeah. And then in the process of that, you're gonna teach your family something.
Yeah.
So I always talk about breaking generational curses because every family has them.
Yes.
It could be something like alcoholism. It could be something as simple as being lazy, but you don't even realize it.
Correct.
That's destroying your generations forever.
Yes.
Because that laziness spirit is, or the quitter spirit or whatever it is, right? So when one person comes along like yourself and they always go against the grain, they want more, they don't care, they take the risk, or they take the risk and they go, well, I didn't think that through, but now I got to do it. So I'm going to do it, right?
Just run with it.
Yeah. I better run with it because, I got a lot of people saying, I told you so,
Yeah.
You're actually kind of breaking generational curses because now, even if it's not your extended family, it's your kids.
Yes.
Because
they don't know anything better.
No.
All they know is what I've showed them.
Exactly.
It's not even about teaching them.
Yeah.
I've showed them this is what you need to do, because I'm doing it. I don't have to teach you. I don't have to sit there and tell you how I did it. You're going to see for yourself.
Exactly. And a lot of times parents think that your kids do what you say. They don't do what you say.
Correct.
They do what you do.
Yes.
So if you're like a smoker and you tell your kids don't smoke and you're over here puffing a pack a day, they're going to end up probably most likely smoking.
Correct.
It's two things. They're either going to do it or they're going to be like, heck no, I don't want to be like my parents, right? But if you just show a good example, the kids are just naturally gonna do it. Because like my father, he was the entrepreneur. It's funny because my dad, he came from Mexico and he always knew, I don't know how he knew it or how he got it, but he always wanted to do everything opposite of what the traditional Mexicans would do. So he wanted to learn English, but learn it very good. He wanted to, not have a big, huge family because he knew that it's expensive, right? So he wanted to have a smaller family. I want to have a big family. Nothing wrong with big families, but he kind of understood somehow.
You're running out of time.
Yeah, no, we got plenty of time. Oh, you guys are running out of time?
You're running out of time for having a big
family. Heck no.
Got plenty of time.
Didn't Vicente Fernandez have kids till he's like 90?
Just kidding.
I'm going to be like Gente, right?
I'm going to be behind your ear. You're running out of time.
Come on. What the hell is that? You're running out of time.
Ladies, it's actually 36, all right? He's
26.
26.
26.
I look and feel
look like
26.
50.
Okay. What was I talking about?
I don't know. Running out of time. Wait, no. Running out of time.
Big families. Your dad.
Family, your dad. Your dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's okay. But my dad was always different, right? So, and he was kind of like you. Like, I remember my dad would be like, so one day, we used to eat like Twinkies, like bad food, American food, Mexican food. And then one day we come home and everything is just gone. Like all the fat, all the sweets are gone. All the Kool-Aid is gone. All the manteca is gone. And it's like watered down iced tea and everything's healthy. And I'm like, me and my sister are like, what the heck happened? But we were so young. And when you're young, you have to kind of listen to your parents. We just kind of adapted. So I never got a sweet tooth. That's why it's easy for me to make healthy decisions because it started when I was like young, right? If I would have been born with if I would have had these stuff since I was young, like it's kind of sad. Like you see kids in like in elementary school and they're already obese. Like that's kind of sad.
Especially in America.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
So he changed the diet but my dad was always an entrepreneur. Like he had a taqueria. So it's funny because my dad used to tease me for being an entrepreneur. Like, go get a real job. Blah, 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 blah. And then my mom goes, Jesus, shut the hell up. He learned it from you. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and then I think about it, I go, she's right.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, 0 to 7, when I was being trained, my dad was always an entrepreneur because he didn't have a lot of opportunity.
Right.
Mexico, no degree, you know, immigrant, all this kind of stuff. He was a truck driver at first, and then he had a bunch of crappy old jobs. So he's like, F this, I'm going to start my own business. So he started a taqueria, and he 8 times the business of the taqueria.
Wow.
Because his personality came in there, right, and his cooking. But then he was working 24/7, self-employed. So I know you mentioned that, right? By the way, you guys, if you think you're a business owner and you're self-employed, you're not.
Exactly.
You basically own a job.
Yes.
What does that mean? If you're not there and the business doesn't run, you don't have a business. You have.
Correct.
There's nothing wrong with that, but you're self-employed, right? You can make more money than an employee, but if you're not there, the business doesn't run. That's like real estate, like tax people, stuff like that, right? So my dad was self-employed because he owned a taqueria, but he had to be there, right? Because he was the leader, the man, right? And then he gave it up, and then he did other businesses, like, you know, he did A.L. Williams, and it was funny because he was talking smack about me doing my other business in the beginning, and then I found the A.L. Williams pin. I'm like, Dad, what's this? Yeah. He's like, well, you know, I kind of, you know, and I'm like, no wonder.
Exactly.
And then like one time I told him, I said, Dad, I said, are you giving me crap because you don't believe I can do it, or because you didn't succeed at it?
Good point.
And he like stopped, and he's like, well, because I didn't succeed at it. I go, remember when you told me? Because my dad told me, like, because like my dad was always my hero, right? And I was like 13. I'm like, Dad, I'm just like you. And he's like, no. I'm like, no. He's like, I don't want you to be just like me. He's like, if you're just like me, I failed as a father. He's like, I want you to be better than me.
Wow.
And I was like mind blown, right? So I said, Dad, remember when you told me that you don't want me to be just like you? He said, yeah. I said, so why do you think I'll fail? He goes, you're right. And he never bothered me ever again.
That's super
and
good.
I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy.